What would you do to this neglected end of this Harpenden garden? The client has tried some wildflower planting, has planted a few new trees, and there's some old mature trees in the back there. But there's no real reason to go down this end of the garden. In discussing with the client the proposal for a garden design, one of my first questions is, why are you going to come down here? You need a reason to come down here. And we discussed that her teenage children could use the space, maybe with some Bedouin tents as a nice chill out area for them and their friends, maybe with a fire pit. It was also mentioned that she wanted to put a gym down this end of the garden. It's a large space, it's about a third of the garden. So I came up with this concept to transform this end of the garden into an area that could be used, and people would want to actually come down to this end of the garden. My name is Craig McGibbon. I run Craig McGibbon Limited, Gardens with Passion. We're a design and build company, and I designed this garden for a Harpenden client. We have binding gravel paths which lead down to a central border. On each side we have prairie grass planting. We've got grasses, we've got echinacea, and some of the newly planted trees still in location. As you travel down to the central border, it features the magnolia, topiary balls, geraniums, scabious, salvia, guara, leucanthemum, anemones, a few rocks, and cobbles and pebbles. There's a little deck for beanbags for the children to relax with their friends and chat and play. There's a green screen behind that'll feature some climbers running up on rusted steel frames. And to the right, we have a fire pit area with chairs for relaxing around a fire pit in the evening. Now this side of the garden gets the evening sun, so that'd be a perfect place to watch the sun go down and relax by the fire. As we swing round the garden towards the gym, there's another border featuring an acer tree, more of the same planting, and an aquascape water bowl, which the upper bowl cascades into the lower bowl. The gym building has a composite grey deck in front with a wooden pergola with slatted wooden roof. This is an area to stretch after you're exercising, doing a bit of yoga, maybe just a bit of meditation after you're exercising. And in the far corner, a domestic shed for the tools, lawnmower and other items. And off this mature tree, nice hanging cocoon, little private chill out zone for one of the children to relax, scroll on their phone, read a book. As this is a really shady area, we've got fatsia planting in the back. There's a big leafy planting which will come up, and then smaller shade-loving plants, ferns, anemones, and some geraniums. In one of the considerations, and this is still under debate, is the use of an exercise bike. This style of building, due to planning regs, can only be 2.5 metres high. With an exercise bike, you need about 2.4 metres as the internal dimension. Unfortunately, with insulation in the roof, it's unlikely there'll be enough space to have that. So we may need to change to an apex style shed, outdoor building, to allow the exercise on the bicycle. There are a couple of changes that we're going to do to this concept design. These borders here are going to change to gravel and pebbles to reflect the central border. And we want to put some climbers up onto this fence line across here. I'll probably put those on another framework. Probably star jasmine, which will give a lovely jasmine in the evening as it gets a lot of sun on this fence line. So that'll work perfectly well there and give a nice fragrant spot to relax in the evening. So this is the concept design that was discussed with the client. A few minor changes. The next step will be adding lighting and the final imagery, and then doing a quotation for the construction of this area.